Just read a report in the London Times which reminded me of why I really detest communism. Um, I'm going to read it out because it's not excessively long. This is from the London Times, the 10th of July. So if you just bear with me, I'm going to read this out. It's not online, it's actually the newspaper itself. Chinese film fans have been boycotting cinemas that have been ordered to show a propaganda film in which many of the biggest stars quote Chairman Mao and promote core socialist values before the main feature is shown. The Glory and the Dream, or Chinese Dream, features Jackie Chan, Li Bingbing, who stars in Transformers, and Donnie Yen, the star of martial arts films. No matter what you do, as long as you don't disappoint our country, our society, our people, and your family, then you're helping to realize the Chinese dream, Li says in the films. The film has four themes: core socialist values, Chinese dream, the comprehensive strategic plan, and the overall plan of promoting economic, political, cultural, social, and ecological progress. The state media said the purpose is to help people better understand and accept the Chinese Communist Party's principles and policies. One online commentator promised to boycott cinemas until the autumn when the screenings are due to end. Another wrote that his Chinese dream was the abolition of the state media group behind the film. Cinema staff said that many film fans have arrived deliberately late to avoid it. One supporter of the film wrote, "As one of the younger generation, we should be brave and not afraid of trying. The Chinese dream is one that is shared by many." Since President Xi took office in 2012, many people believe that propaganda has increased. Some methods are more old-fashioned than the slick film. In Beijing, signs featuring slogans have appeared in residential areas. One in the east of the city reads, "Turn the spirit of Xi's important speech given during his official visit in Beijing into lively practice of the construction and development of the city." Okay, I have to say that this is unfortunate but not surprising. I see good and bad news from this. The good news is that, unlike the 1960s, this is not easily washing with the majority of people. Clearly, there is a civic backlash against this, in that young people can see that it is propaganda and they can see what the government is trying to do here. So that is the good news, and I think that's very refreshing that people are not being easily taken in by it. But the bad news is that, far from being a reformer, Xi Jinping's tenure has shown even more censorship and even more control, arguably, than the Hu Jintao era, if that was even possible. Um, and there is an increasing arrogance about the power of the CCP in terms of keeping an iron grip on power. The other China related story that's circulating around at the moment is that the Nobel Peace Laureate Liu Xiaobo is dying, and foreign doctors have urged the Chinese authorities to let him travel abroad for treatment. He's currently serving a prison sentence for subjugating state power, which is a major crime in the People's Republic of China. You know, all of this just really reiterates why I despise communism as a system. It's cruel, it's controlling, and it's absolutely shackling in terms of human expression. As for Jackie Chan, I'm well aware that he's a very popular action star. I basically see the guy as a Communist Party stooge. He's also a hypocrite because he makes money from appearing in Hollywood funded films, and yet he's a big critic of the West. He's always talking about how corrupt the West is, and he's basically he's a mouthpiece for the Communist Party. I don't have much respect for Jackie Chan, actually. I'm aware he's a very popular figure, and I'm aware that I won't be making myself popular saying that, but I don't care. He's in a new film called The Foreigner, which of course makes the British look like evil imperialists, and Jackie Chan, the brave Asian man to the rescue. Um, I have no respect for the guy. And now what's he doing? This may as well be 1930s Germany and people promoting the Nazi Party. I do believe that the CCP is a fundamentally, um, well, their history speaks volumes. Um, and the more I hear about it, the less I'm surprised, because this is what's been happening ever since Xi Jinping took over. It's been going on obviously before that, but there has definitely been an escalation on control and censorship and propaganda. And what has basically happened in the past 5 to 10 years is that communism as an ideology, i.e., the traditional socialist sort of message that it pushed, isn't really working anymore, partly because there is huge social divisions within China and a range of other reasons. The public are well aware of corruption, which is one of the areas Xi has got genuine support in his anti-graft campaign. But because socialism as an ideology, socialism, communism, in the Chinese context, there really isn't much difference. Um, because that as an ideology is not working, what she promotes is nationalism. So trying to brainwash people into loving the motherland, and what they mean by that is loving the party. And don't question the party. It's a particularly cynical way to poison minds and to make people not think in a critical way. Now, the West isn't entirely immune from this. You could find examples during the Cold War, for example, in McCarthy era in the United States, where there are Western equivalents. But generally speaking, it's not comparable to this. Definitely not today. I can say, as a fact, we do not have anything equivalent of this in the United Kingdom. We don't go to the cinema and we aren't kind of ordered to salute the Queen before every cinema showing or something like that. So there's no comparison. And this to me is just further proof that communism can never ever be considered freedom. The Chinese dream is a slogan. That's all it is. It's a slogan dreamt up by Xi Jinping and his cronies to justify their authoritarianism, their dictatorship, which is really what it is. Let's call a spade a spade. That's what it is. Um, and the thing that pisses me off most about communism is that there is simply no level playing field within a communist system, because you only hear one side. You only hear one side of the argument. That's what is so shackling about it. Say what you want about democracy, say what you want about liberal democratic systems. They have their flaws, right? And I'm the first to be vocal about those flaws. But at least you get to hear different points of view. In a communist system, you just don't. Or if there is different points of view, it's very much underground and very much, in the corners. It's really not. I'll give an example of what I'm talking about. I've just read about Republicans criticizing the monarchy, i.e., the British monarchy in 2017. Now, criticizing the monarchy is not legal in this country, and it shouldn't be. I will always defend the right of Republicans to criticize the monarchy. China, try criticizing Chairman Mao publicly and see what happens. And as I always say with these videos, I'm not anti-China. I think China is a great country, but nothing will ever convince me that the CCP is anything other than an arrogant dictatorship. And this is just further evidence of it. But the good news is people are seeing through it. They can see it's propaganda, and yeah, that's good. But I'm a little bit fed up with the likes of Jackie Chan preaching to the West, which he has done on many occasions, when he is basically acting as a tool for an authoritarian regime. The man is a complete hypocrite. If he is so much for socialism, then why is he happy to take millions of dollars from Hollywood films? He's a rank hypocrite.